Hello Internet, welcome to my channel. So this will be the first of the series of travel vlogs that I will be posting, and today I'm going to talk about planning Sikkim Ride that is upcoming in the next few days. The initial plan was to transport our bikes to Siliguri and thereafter from there commence our ride and end back to Siliguri. However, logistically, it was proving to be a bit of a hassle. And after deliberations, we decided to actually ride from here all the way to Siliguri and continue with our journey, ending it in Binaguri, dropping our bikes there, and thereafter flying back to Hyderabad. Well, now that the decision was taken to ride all the way up, our preparation started in earnest. At first, the start date was chosen to be 17th of September. But then again, we were required to be back at least 3 days before the Sarah. Uh, that was going to be one heck of a ride to cover all destinations we had on the list. And also, it was not allowing us any rest days in between. We didn't want to make the mistakes that we made on our Leh ride, in which we were just riding all days without any break. The only break we got was in Leh, and where we had to stay one additional day for acclimatization. If that was not the requirement, then probably we would have not had any break at all in that trip. Well, after consultation with our colleagues there in Sikkim and in Darjeeling, we decided to actually start our trip after Dasera, which will give us a free run for about 15 to 16 days. We can plan out the entire trip. It will not be a hurried one, and we will be able to actually comfortably touch all the points of interest that we wanted to actually visit during our trip to Sikkim this time. And it will also allow us to come back before Diwali, back home. That is very important. As far as the destinations to cover in Sikkim goes, there are plenty of points of interest. Many of these I had covered when I was stationed in Siliguri. A few things that I missed out, and amongst them, one was Gurudongmar Lake, and the second one was the panoramic view of Kanchenjunga. Those two are primary targets, at least mine, on this trip. However, to enjoy the majestic beauty of Kanchenjunga range and Kanchenjunga itself, you need to go on a trek. And of course, that is also on the anvil, maybe sometime towards the end of next year. And if you want to be part of that journey too, please do subscribe and hit the like button for notifications. Well, we will end our trip in Binaguri and leave our rides there for our upcoming trip to Northeast. It didn't make much of sense for us to actually ride back all the way to Hyderabad and then ride back again to the starting point, which will be somewhere in the region of Binaguri or even Siliguri for that matter. So it was decided to leave our bikes there and go back again and start the journey from there onwards. The routing from Hyderabad till Darjeeling would be as Google suggests. Although during our planning stage, we did consider taking the coastal route. It had its own issues, and we settled for the suggested route by Google Maps. Day one would be from Hyderabad to Jabalpur, a route that I have already done last November on my way to Bandhavgarh Wildlife Sanctuary. This route is one monotonous one, sticking to tarmac all through, with occasional rough patches. Having said that, the mild twisties of Vindhyas after crossing Nagpur would be fun to ride again. This route
From Jabalpur to Muzaffarpur would be taking us at least about 15 hours, and 70% of this route is good. But when we turn off the Grand Trunk Road, it becomes an intermediate road with one lane in each direction. That's where we will not make good progress till we reach Muzaffarpur. This section of the route will take maximum time on day two. This route is a four-lane highway for 60% of the distance to Bagdogra, after which we again hit an intermediate road, making our progress slow. This is where the second if comes in. If we do not encounter much of traffic on this intermediate road, we will push to reach Darjeeling. If we get unduly delayed, we would be forced to stop at Bagdogra or Bengdavi. And once we reach either Bagdogra or Siliguri, that's where our actual road trip begins. I ride a 1200 GS. It's been a trusty companion for all my rides till now and for many more to come. Except for the most necessary accessories, I haven't decked up my bike as yet. However, in our ride to Pondicherry last September, I realized that the stock light on the GS is not sufficient. I decided to get auxiliary lights fitted for this trip, and another thing that I felt was necessary was the headlight guard. With these two additions and a set of new tires and a new battery, the bike is set for this arduous trip to Sikkim.
Well, the navigation plan is pretty simple. We just follow Google Maps till we reach Darjeeling, and thereon, like into the hills, it'll all depend on. There will be minor tweaks, of course, depending on weather, landslides, or movement of the convoys, army convoys that I mean, and also the points of interest. In case we make good time, then we will probably have time to actually do a little bit of a detour and include a few more points of interest in Sikkim in our itinerary. So that is the basic plan, and we will be mostly using offline maps. We will download Google Maps as offline Google Maps, and then use Google Maps as offline maps. And also there are other couple of apps that we can use for finding trails and places that the Google Map misses out. Okay, so that's the basic navigation plan for us.
Well, a trip like this requires meticulous planning. Apart from day-to-day requirements of yours on a trip like this, there are certain things that are important that you need to carry. I cannot overemphasize the requirement of carrying a puncture repair kit with you, and also an inflator. This has saved a day for me plenty of times in the past few years. Um, Apart from this, uh, an abridged version of your toolkit specific to your bike is also a must. It goes without saying that in remote places you will probably not find a proper mechanic. Even if you find one, he will not have tools which are actually compatible with your bike. So it is important to carry one with you. The second set of equipment that I will be carrying is for capturing the footage. Documenting the journey can be done from a simple smartphone too, but it has its own limitations. The gear that I will carry include my trusty Panasonic Lumix GH4 with a couple of lenses for landscape photography and one long lens for those zoomed in shots. Apart from that, I have a Rilo on the bike which captures the journey as such. And with this equipment, I think I should do this video. Needless to say, we will pack as light as possible. At the same time, catering for the unpredictable weather of the hills. Any amount of preparation is generally not enough, but one does his or her best. Tackling the unknown challenges makes a trip memorable. And having said that, the place that we are going is not isolated nor unpatrolled, and we do have friends following our progress at all times, which I thought was necessary. Well, See you in the next video then. Peace out.